presidential scandal, a best-selling album, and a debate on streaming services. All this and more is coming up next on Afternoon Delight.
Yeah, let's get that.
Welcome to Afternoon Delight. I'm Allie Schatzman.
I'm Noelle Housen.
I'm Aaron Rampton.
And I'm Ryan Conlon.
All right, so let's just dive right in. Our first topic, we're going to be discussing Hulu versus Netflix. So there's a pretty big debate right now on like which streaming service people like more, Hulu or Netflix, because Netflix is having a lot more of their own original content, and they're getting rid of some of the fan favorite shows, and Hulu is then just picking them right back up. So Hulu is getting a lot more shows. And I just want to know what you guys think, like if you have a preference between them, or if you don't use either of them and you use something else. Just what are you guys thinking?
I'm kind of torn between Hulu and Netflix because Netflix has Friends, Grey's Anatomy, and like all the CW shows I watch, but then Hulu has How I Met Your Mother and Full House, and so I feel
Full House is on Hulu?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start watching
all
that.
8 seasons of it.
All right, well, definitely gonna have
the
to
cheese
go
of
and watch
Full House.
that.
You
yeah,
know,
so I don't know. It's kind of like
see the thing with all of these streaming services is each one has their pluses and minuses. Like Netflix, you get a lot of awesome Netflix originals. Like you can't watch Stranger Things without Netflix. But at the same time, I would say as a college student, your money would be best spent on buying a Spotify subscription and getting the Hulu for free.
Yeah, that was-
because the Spotify is $4.99 a month, and you're gonna be paying like almost. Is it like almost 10 now for Netflix? I think it's over.
I
10.
think Netflix jumped up their price to like 10 something a month. But yeah, that was really smart for Hulu, because I know before Spotify introduced like their student pairing with Hulu, I never had it because I didn't want to spend the extra money for Netflix and Hulu and Spotify. That was too much for me.
Yeah.
But then just being able to have Hulu already with something I was already paying for, even with the limited commercials, it seems worth it to me just because there's so many more shows I can watch on there. Like, and especially when they took off How I Met Your Mother from Netflix, that's one of my favorite shows. And then Hulu had it right there. So then I definitely feel like I've converted more to a Hulu person than Netflix. I don't even know the last time I actually watched Netflix, because I just always find things I want on Hulu instead now.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess for me, like, I really like Netflix's originals. I watch them a lot, but I find most of the time that I watch shows on Hulu, it has more to do with, like, they used to be on Netflix, like you said, How I Met Your Mother, a lot of, like, the animated shows that used to be on, like, Fox's Animation, Domination, they all took those off Netflix, so it's like, you go to Hulu, but the only thing I really hate about Hulu is, like, I don't like the ads.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're gonna take away your Netflix, then pay more for the ad-free Hulu, because then you're not paying for both.
Exactly. But another thing about Hulu, I kind of like the commercials, because if you're watching with someone, it gives you a little bit of a chance to talk about the show with someone, like during the commercial breaks. So you get like 100 seconds of commercial.
Just pause it.
I mean, you could.
I mean,
but
you could.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Even like the few times I watch like live TV with my roommates, it's nice having those commercial breaks, especially if you're watching something really intense. You just need a little bit of time just so you can like discuss what happened, or even like see like, oh, what do you think is going to happen next, or just take a breather. Sometimes things are just really emotional.
Exactly.
And I sometimes just need that on Hulu. I also though definitely have done. There's a 30-day free trial for Hulu where you can get commercial free. So I've definitely done that with like my home email and my school email.
Yeah,
so, like it's lasted a little bit. So that's really nice. That's how I binge watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine multiple times actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
But because I had my 30-day free trial, so I watched it, and I wanted my roommate to watch it, so we used her free 30-day trial, and we rewatched it.
Well,
I just feel like there's too many commercials. Like in a half-hour show on Hulu, there's like 4 commercials.
It's pretty annoying. Plus,
and
like,
they're like 90 seconds long. and that's kind of long. Or like
I mean,
even
it's not
on the
that bad.
hour, like okay, watching like The Bachelor, there's
Yeah,
like 14
Because The Bachelor is like
commercials.
2 hours long.
But still, that's so many.
Honestly, though,
I
that
can't watch a
gives
show
you
that long
a
anyway.
lot of breaks to
Yeah, I
talk
don't watch
about
the
all
whole
the
thing at
drama.
once. Ugh.
So there's, I
But
feel like
14.
whenever I've seen the show like on TV, I feel like I need those commercial breaks because it just gets so
Because it's
ridiculous.
just
I'm like, I just
weird.
need to stop for a little bit. Just show me like some car commercials or like, something. This is just too much petty drama for me. And then there's a little break, and you're like, oh, okay, I feel a little more refreshed, and I feel a little bit better watching. I still really enjoy it, but I have watched it.
I think I would enjoy the Hulu commercials more if they had like varied them more.
Yeah,
'Cause
they're
it's like
pretty
the
much
same one
time.
every single time. Like I'm at the point where I can just like quote all of them, like by memory of them.
I definitely feel that way too. All right, so moving on from those two, we're going go a little more into politics. The name Stormy Daniels, I'm sure we have all heard at some point in the news of the porn star who has said that she's
Adult film
Adult film, I'm
Adult
sorry.
film
Not
actress.
just
An
a
adult
star,
film
she's a
artist.
director.
Yes.
She's a writer apparently.
She does a lot for
I don't
the
know.
adult film industry, but her apparent affair that she had with the president is very much in the news right now. Do you guys have any thoughts on her or that whole
Well,
thing?
I think before we really get into talking about our opinions about it, we should probably put down a little bit of the framework.
Yeah.
So basically what happened is that she was being threatened by Donald Trump's lawyer with $1 million lawsuit because she made an agreement to not talk about this affair. But now, after doing this interview, she's facing $1 million fine, and you know, there was a lot of things leading up to this. Like, she had the affair around 2006, and it was only like a one-time thing, she said. And after he would like text her and call her about an appearance on The Celebrity Apprentice, which never ended up happening, which I think is a little bit shady. He was probably just trying to hang out with her again, and yeah. So that's basically. And she also her daughter and her got threatened in a parking lot by someone who may or may not have been hired by Donald Trump's lawyer. So it's a lot of shady stuff going on.
A lot of shady things. But going back to The Apprentice, I don't know if I'd say that's shady because my family used to watch The Apprentice, and I just feel like, so I was like younger when it was on, and I would sometimes watch it, not really knowing what was happening. But if I was watching The Apprentice and there's like all these like celebrities, like rock stars and people I've heard of, and then there's this adult film star,
Yeah.
I'd be a little confused on that.
Mommy, what's
like
an
it was
adult
sketchy
film
of him to do
star?
it. It was sketchy of him to like say
So
like
suggest
frame it that way.
Yeah.
But I think it would also just be really weird if she would have ended up being on the show.
True, but she is a very smart woman. She is someone who has a lot of charisma, and even her encounter with Donald Trump, she said that he was very taken aback by the way that she talked to him, because it started out, he showed her a picture of himself on a magazine, and he was like, "Oh, did you see my latest magazine picture?" And she was like, "What?
What?
Someone should spank you." So
Yeah.
so she literally spanked him at the celebrity golf tournament. Underwear was on.
Yeah,
was
I had
on.
to clarify
But
that.
yeah, so
That makes
you
it
know,
a lot better, I guess.
well,
Well, does it though?
Does it?
sticking it to the man, honestly, just trying to level out the playing field. Because after she did that, she said that the conversation was a lot more appropriate, and that they were like more on a
Interesting
level
way to make a
ground.
conversation appropriate
Yeah.
by spanking someone. But you know, if that's what happened, I guess.
Yeah, and you know, I hope something comes out of this more than just you know, it becomes a big media story and then all of a sudden it gets pushed by the wayside, because there was some thoughts that there might have been campaign money put in, and using campaign finance money to pay off a porn star who you had an affair with is not very ethical, especially for a president.
Definitely. Also, I believe her name was McDougal, I think was the last name. Does anyone remember her first? It was a former Playboy Playmate who also is admitting that she had an affair with the president a few years back and was paid money by, I think she sold the story to the National Enquirer a few years ago and they never ran the story, so now she's coming out with, in light of the Stormy Daniels revelations, so.
Yeah, I definitely
more
saw
on
that
that
too, because
too.
the two stories were really similar. Like sometimes I would read them and I couldn't,
got
I couldn't
confused.
separate which one was which because all the details were almost exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
I just know both of them. I've seen claims from like people who work for Trump just saying that like they're not real, but there's pictures of them together. So like there's something happened. There was some kind of interaction with all of these things.
There's not a lot of ethics in the White House right now.
No.
I think that's a.
There's just
Not.
there's just a lot of confusion happening. But I think with that, we'll wrap up this discussion on Stormy Daniels, and we will be taking a quick break to look at some perfect pets at the Cooley Region Humane Society.
Hi, my name is Finn. I am a 1-year-old Australian cattle dog that loves to cuddle. I'm Penguin. I'm a super playful 7-month-old kitty that would make a great addition to any energetic home.
Greetings, I'm Dublin. I'm 2 years old, and my polydactyl toes make it easier for me to play with my friends.
To find out more about adoption for these pets or others, contact the Cooley Region Humane Society at 781-4014.
And once again, the number for the Cooley Region Humane Society is 608-781-4014. All right, so now let's move into some music news. Taylor Swift's latest album, Reputation, just sold 2 million copies. All of Taylor Swift's albums have done this, but when I looked it up, only one other album that was released in 2017 broke the 2 million record, and that was Ed Sheeran's Divide, which came out like way in the beginning of the year. I think I saw also she was the first like female to do it since Adele released her album back in 2015. So it's a pretty big moment for Taylor Swift. What did you guys think of her newest album? Because it's very different from all of her previous things.
I think it had some good jams on it, some catchy tunes, but for the most part, I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan, so I'm not gonna give a positive review for her album. But
I didn't like her new album. This is not the Taylor Swift that I am
This is
used
not
to.
the girl we know
There was,
and love.
you know, her earlier country albums were great, and then she tried going pop with Red in 1989, and I thought those also had lots of bangers on them. But this, honestly, let me down so much. Look What You Made Me Do is such an awful song, and honestly,
when that one came out, I had
catchy.
high hopes
yeah.
for it. Like in the beginning, I could just like the
the
first verses, I was like, okay,
Yeah,
I can
like-
get behind. I was like, it's a little different, it's kind of edgy, but that was she took that year off because every year before that it was like every other year she had an album, and then all of a sudden in
Yeah.
2016 she didn't have one, and so she had all this extra time to build up this new reputation. So then she had this new song, and it was so different, and then the chorus comes, and it's just the same like 6 words over and over again.
That's how like
Ooh,
I
Look
really,
What
really
You Made Me
disappointed.
Do.
that's how all
over
the
and
songs
over.
are. Is like the verses are like okay, and then just the chorus is like just so repetitive and
Or
like,
even, I think one of our other singles, Are You Ready For It? That
Yes,
one,
oh
it was
my
like
God.
almost Taylor Swift trying to rap in her verses, but the chorus I really liked. Like it just,
Yeah.
that was like
Yeah.
fun. There was like actually like melody happening and not just repetition. And then she gets back to like, Are You Ready For It? And then it just
And it's
goes
like,
back downhill and I'm not there again. So overall, definitely.
Endgame is like that too. where-
Endgame, I don't think I've heard Endgame yet.
I've only
And that's the song with
opposite.
Future and Ed Sheeran, isn't it?
Wait, she recorded a
no.
song with Future?
She recorded a song with
Why?
Future and Ed Sheeran.
That just doesn't seem like
I
a
don't
Taylor
know.
Swift move.
That's an ambitious crossover for sure.
Definitely.
But I was not a huge fan of that, but I'm also not a huge Ed Sheeran and Future fan.
I really like Ed Sheeran, especially the first song she did with Ed Sheeran on Red.
Red, yeah. That one
Everything
was
Has Changed. I really liked that one. But I think
well,
I
also that song is closer to like her earlier stuff.
yeah, it's
It was,
definitely
like, one of
Red
the-
was definitely like a transition between like
Yeah.
Speak Now and 1989. There was some of both on there.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that I really liked about it is I loved Speak Now, and then I read there was some hit and some miss in 1989. It just felt very much like I wrote this to be on the radio. Like the lyrics were still very Taylor, but the sound was more, I want this to be playing when people are driving their car down the street and they're jamming out to it.
Or maybe she ran out of country ideas. That's what,
I mean,
you know, also,
you're not wrong there.
Yeah, you know.
Maybe that Taylor's just dead.
Yeah,
You're
well,
right.
no, definitely.
Definitely
Old Taylor's dead.
Old Taylor's
She's
dead.
dead.
She said it
done.
herself.
When I heard that line, I cringed so hard.
Yeah,
Like, she's just trying to be this bad girl. And if we're comparing between Famous, the song that Kanye West released, which called out Taylor Swift, and Look What You Made Me Do, I'm gonna side with Famous because it's a way better song. And he only mentions her one line. He mentions her one line, and Taylor Swift has to make a whole song about it. But honestly, though, she should be making songs about him because he did interrupt her Grammy speech.
The first song she wrote about him was back on Speak Now, was called Innocent. I don't think she releases like a single or anything, but that one, like the song was really good and just felt like she just felt like she was handling the situation really mature, and then she like took a step back with Reputation. Like Speak Now, just all the songs she wrote about people and those ones, like they just felt a lot classier. Because she as we all know, she has plenty of songs written about plenty of people.
We know now she's a snake, so
apparently
I
she's
guess
a snake, but she is taking that. She is rolling with it.
Yep.
It's in like all her videos. She has like different snakes in there. Like she's just taking
how
this thing.
That's how she like promoted her like the album coming out. Is she like released those like 3 videos on Instagram,
snakes.
And it was just like a snake.
It's a little pretentious, though.
I have to admire that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Pretentious and satanic. I don't know about
satanic.
I don't think she's quite that.
I don't think that Taylor Swift has a satanic bone in her body. She
can try to be like as dark and edgy all she wants, but she still has a like sentimental, like lovey-dovey side of her, because a lot of her songs are still about like her relationships. That's a really important thing to her, which it should be. Like that's a big part of your life.
Well, like if you take the music out of them, like
the lyrics
are still like good.
I just hope that she changes her whole aesthetic on albums going forward. I hope that she hears the criticisms from Taylor fans and saying, okay, this isn't the Taylor that we want. We want old Taylor back. Yeah, we need to resurrect old Taylor.
You don't even need like the super old like Taylor Swift and Fearless Taylor. Like that's very country. Like it's okay if you don't go all the way back there, but at least like Red. Speak Now, I really like. But even that way, I can understand. Like, if we're just sticking with like Red and 1989, yeah, you can see on the screen.
Oh yeah,
old
even her hair changed.
Everything is so different about her, except the fact that she is still very blonde.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Her curly hair.
Now she has short, straight hair.
Short, straight.
Honestly, though, that red lipstick look, it's pretty kind. That's a heartbreaking look, right there.
Iconic, and I love it. I hate it with Reputation. She started wearing more like black and dark lipstick, and I just want like I feel like that was just something like you see like the blonde hair and the red lipstick and you know it's Taylor Swift.
Right.
Because that's even on 1989, her album cover is just like here down, but she has her bright red lipstick on, so you know it's her.
Yeah. I just am hoping that there isn't a Taylor Swift metal album, because I feel like that's where it's kind of transitioning to.
I don't think she's going to.
I don't know.
I don't think it's quite
I don't think she
metal.
can pull off metal.
Probably not.
Because honestly, she's like not the best singer.
I think she's trying to just get a little more of like a rock influence with like Reputation. Like she's trying to drift a little more that way, and just pop music has shifted from like when she first started like performing in 2006 or whatever it was. Pop music is very different now than it was in 2006.
Even, like,
so she's trying to adapt with that, and I understand that part of it.
Like even country music now like isn't like her first album like country is not really like that anymore.
Country is not like
it's more like poppy and like
definitely trying to like adapt.
Country
which I have a gripe
rap.
with too. I am not a fan of the new pop country. I think Taylor Swift should be leading the charge to bring back more traditional country, because these poppy beats with going down a back road, drinking beers. I just love you in the moonlight.
Taylor Swift's so popular popular is like back then she was one of the ones that was leading this push from like the country to pop country. So maybe she will be the one to bring country back to this normal country roots. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But for now, we're going to take a quick look at some WMCM promos.
The University of Wisconsin-La Crosse brings you a weekly student newscast. Important news. Movie critiques. Weather forecasts. Sports highlights. And local interviews. UWL's own WMCM, run by the students, for the students. Every Thursday at 4:30 on Campus Channel 200 and Charter Channel 989.
Are you a movie fanatic? Tune in on WMCM TV's Screening Room, Tuesdays at 2:45 or 4:30. You can watch on Channel 200 and Charter 989. See you on Tuesdays for Screening Room.
Hello, welcome back to Afternoon Delight. So now we're going to finish up on our last topic, talking about TV crossovers, or just crossovers in general. So with the newest Marvel movie coming out, Avengers Infinity War, they released a statement or something where they said it was one of the most ambitious crossovers of all time. And that led to a wonderful meme of everyone just throwing out their crossovers, like that they thought this one was more ambitious, and this one, I mean, I think Ryan mentioned something earlier about ambitious Taylor Swift crossover. Who was
Future?
Future is
Ed
crossovers everywhere.
Yeah, that was ambitious. It didn't necessarily pan out.
Ambitious crossovers are happening everywhere. I know there's a new Supernatural and Scooby-Doo crossover coming out, which, as similar as those two shows are, it just seems quite ambitious to crossover a cartoon and like a live action
have like
show.
really good cross. Even going back as far as like the 70s, they had crossovers with like the Harlem Globetrotters and Batman and Robin. I remember watching those when I was a kid. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if you can beat that. Like,
I don't know, but they're trying to do something now with Dean and Sam, and honestly,
yeah, it's just cool.
Who better to put on Scooby-Doo than Dean and Sam Winchester? They're constantly battling demons, and then they're gonna go on Scooby-Doo, and like they're gonna be so overpowering with these people who are pretending to be monsters but end up just being
like,
people. Yeah, I mean, just look at how good they look. Like, look at how good they look animated.
That they get to be like cartoonized.
I know. I wish I could be in Scooby-Doo. I wish that I could have my cartoon made in
definitely.
Like what you would look like as a cartoon.
I'm definitely just a fan of like all the ridiculous crossovers like that, especially with like because that one's like real animation and like they're crossing to have animation. I know one of the other ones that was really great at like the crossing over animation styles, the Jimmy Timmy Power Hours.
Oh yeah.
When they switched universes, they also switched animation styles, which Timmy Turner and the Jimmy Neutron animation is one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen in my life to date.
Wholeheartedly agree with that.
So horrifying to look at.
Honestly, no, Jimmy Neutron in the Fairly Odd Parents universe animation is awesome. Yeah, I think that he looks even better than he does in his own universe animation. Yeah, it's just...
I wasn't a big fan of like how they made Timmy look in the Jimmy Neutron universe. I don't know, it was just kind of...
Yeah, he was really scary. I think
he was just scary.
Well, I think part of it is just like the animation style normally is so different, just like the way that they're drawn out or like generated out, I guess, if you're Jimmy Neutron. They just look so different. And then the crossing over from like more 3D animation to 2D, it goes okay. But then trying to go from 2D to 3D with this very unique looking character with his buck teeth and this weird shaped head, like it just didn't sit quite right. But you know, they tried, and I really appreciated that. Like they still took all the time to like make these animation styles look like that.
Did you see? This isn't necessarily a crossover, but there was a Fairly Odd Parents live action movie with Drake Bell.
Drake Bell,
Yeah,
he was Timmy.
That was
Look,
was-
I haven't
kind of
seen
weird.
it. I haven't seen it, but
I've seen
it just.
But Cosmo and Wanda just look like Timmy in the Jimmy Timmy Power Hours, and it's still terrifying. You would think like this is years after those, and you'd think they could make it look a little bit nicer.
How old is Timmy supposed to be?
Oh, I don't even know, but he's old.
Yeah, and why?
Drake,
I mean, it says
I don't know.
grow up, Timmy Turner. So
He
like,
looks like Ash.
He honestly does.
Like
Yes.
Ash is like 11.
Yeah,
like
he's like
eternally,
10,
eternally the
10.
whole time.
But I know he's supposed to be old, because that's what they're saying he should
Okay.
grow up. That's like the whole point of the movie is like he still has these Fairly Odd Parents, or
But
Fairly
he's,
Odd
like,
Parents,
an
but he
adult
shouldn't
now?
because he's an adult and you're supposed to grow out of them. But he still has them because he's the super immature kind of guy and just wants to hold on to Cosmo and Wanda for as long as he can.
Well, who wouldn't?
Evidenced
You're right.
by
Why wouldn't you want-
the pink clothes still. Like he's still
He's still
wearing
got
that
the same outfit,
ridiculous
not-
pink outfit.
and a
Are you
backpack.
Not
kidding
moved
me?
on from that life
Oh
at
my
all.
gosh. Oh my god.
No, the only thing I really remember about that movie was Vicky's sister Tootie was like super attractive now. So suddenly, like in the TV shows, I was like, oh, Tootie, like she's so gross. Now all of a sudden it was like, Tootie, I'm in love with you, and it was just kind of strange because he spent all this time like, ew, girls. And
Well,
of course,
that's how
the
middle
one
school
girl
is.
that like
That's how middle
they
school
could have
is.
introduced a different girl, but they brought in like,
just the
I think her name is
same.
Danielle Monet.
Yes.
They brought in her. She was on Victorious, and
Yeah.
she was wonderful there because she was just ridiculous.
she was annoying.
But she was annoying. So I was
couple
hoping she'd
other-
still be annoying, and then she was just like this almost normal person. And I was a little
Almost
disappointed.
normal.
Almost
Not
normal.
quite normal,
She
but
still
almost normal.
got that Tootie inside of her.
Did you all catch the, like, it's not like a recent thing, but the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Hannah Montana, Wizards
That's
of
so
Waverly
Sweet Life of
Place
Hannah
crossover?
Montana.
I have that on DVD.
Good, because it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because there's that's the Sweet Life of Hannah Montana. and
Wizards on
picture
Deck.
here's Sweet Life on Deck with Hannah Montana when they took the Sweet Life crossover and made another spin-off with 3 of the greatest shows I've ever seen in my life on Disney Channel. I love all of them.
I had
It was
such a
great-
crush on Selena Gomez back in the
Who
day.
didn't?
Yeah, that was.
She's beautiful.
She still to this day is my dream girl.
I can understand.
But not
She's
like
great.
real Selena Gomez, like Selena Gomez on Wizards of
Like
Waverly
Alex Russo.
Yeah, Alex Russo.
I loved Alex.
Russo.
She was a good time.
Yeah, she
And
was awesome.
Another crazy crossover, the Fairly Odd Parents making an appearance on Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. That was ambitious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Look at
Wow.
Hey, there was the janitor on the show voiced one of the characters in Fairly Odd Parents, and I don't
Did
know. I want to say it was
it?
Cosmo and the dad.
Okay.
And so I feel like that was just like an inspiration. Like, hey, we have this voice actor for the guy. We have like we're Nickelodeon, so we
here.
own both of these shows. Let's just put them together. And it was a definitely ambitious crossover, but I think it's okay. I like that they still have their same like super cheesy animation. Like that, if they would use that animation in the live action movie, I honestly would have been more okay with that. Like the weird 3D animation that made it so uncomfortable.
Honestly though, like I've noticed a trend with a lot of TV shows like being, or a lot of animated TV shows being made into movies, that they change up the animation style. I'm trying to remember, like there was the new SpongeBob movie, like the SpongeBob 3D movie. That was weird. That actually started getting like scary and traumatic at points too. I don't think that movie should have been made for children. There's a lot of like psychedelic references in there, and
you know, SpongeBob always has been kind of like borderline. Like
they've always been pretty edgy.
Watch it as an adult, you still find a lot of good jokes in there. Yeah, things just go over your head, or you just interpret them a different way. I know, like everyone was like, "You feeling Mr. Krabs? Can you feel that kind of thing?" You just view it a lot differently when you're 6 versus when you're like 16.
Well, they do that a lot with like animated movies and stuff like that for like the parents who have to like watch it constantly with their children.
Keeps it a little more entertaining.
Yeah, so then they're like, oh, that is.
Another crossover that I'd like to mention, Super Smash Brothers, obviously one of the best video games of all time.
Video game, I'm here for it.
Not the Wii version, but the Super Smash Bros. On either GameCube or Wii U, those are the ones that I like.
I only played it on
the
Wii.
GameCube, Super Smash Bros. Melee on GameCube, crazy game. Actually, on the new version on the Wii U, you can play as the Wii Fit trainer.
That's probably one of the greatest
it's kind of OP
when
you play as the Wii Fit trainer. Also, you can play as Mii's as well. pretty
you
cool.
can just do pretty much anything. You can just cross over anything at this point.
I know.
And people will be excited about it.
All right, well, that is about all the time we have today for Afternoon Delay. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in again soon.